All right, now we're just going to do a quick little video about the modified Klim K7 cassette player. We have different models available. This is one of the ones we advertise as used. It's more like an open box product. As you can see, there's definitely some scratches on it. I have these at different price points. New would be a lot less scratches, if any scratches at all. As you can see, it looks kind of rough. Used is basically more of an open box product, and still pretty new, but you know, if you're not super careful with these, they're going to look like this after a week of use anyway. So if you really want to save the money, I'd go with used. We also sell them with and without accessories for an even bigger discount. Accessories would be headphones and an SD card. The headphones are the Klim ones. They're not great. They're okay. If you have good headphones and you know where to get a good SD card, or you already have one, without accessories is going to be your best bet. The disadvantage of this player compared to the other modified tape players I have for sale are the speed control range is not as big. We have about 80% to about 127% of the standard tape speed. And this model cannot record directly to tape. Now let's go over the advantages, because there are quite a few. This tape player here, this particular Klim K7 model, it sounds a lot better than many of the models available on the market today. I haven't compared it to the FIO, but let's just run through a couple I've compared it to. This pink looking thing, mono head, and this pink thing, way better. CR318, Klim K8, looks cool, but mono head. I don't know why. K8 would sound better, right? Because this is the 7. You'd think. We got the My Pin, much more noisy than the Klim. We got the GPX. Klim still sounds better than that. The Easy Cap, auto reverse deck. Don't get the Bluetooth version, but this, whether you get the Bluetooth version or not, they're kind of noisy. Nowhere near the good sound quality of the Klim, but the Bluetooth version has that Bluetooth chip that makes tons of noise. It's sounds like a good idea in theory, but it's actually a horrible one. CR317, this thing's pretty rough. I wouldn't even modify that one, honestly. I don't, it doesn't meet the quality standards that I would have for selling these types of things. This little pill-shaped player, okay, but still nowhere near the quality of the Klim. The Jalilim, nowhere near the quality of the Klim, but still a fun machine. We got the QFX Retro Boombox, that looks pretty cool. Still nowhere near the quality of the Klim, so that's what I've compared it to. Oh, and the little Tamashi tape recorder. Nowhere near the quality of the Klim. So the Klim K7, it's one of the better modern day players. Again, we 80 to 127% speed control on this thing. This is also pretty cool because it's got built-in MP3 to SD card recording. So while you're playing with the pitch wheel and sampling, you can record it live to the SD card. If you don't have a multi-track recorder, this might be a good way to get going. Let's do a quick little demonstration. We got this answering machine tape from some kind of a business. This is just playing out of the built-in speaker. It's not great. None of these ever were great.
Your call is appreciated. We're proud of conducting ourselves professionally and hope you'll excuse this short inconvenience.
Now that's as fast as it goes. It kind of taps out there. Not much difference.
Happy New Year, and best wishes for the holiday season. Please stay on the line. Someone will assist you shortly.
So we have this marking here. This is what I do on the players that I sell. As you can see, there's a burn mark in the potentiometer hat as well as the tape player. This is, as you can see, a marking of where the correct pitch is. These have some level of wow and flutter like most modern day players, but compared to all the ones I showed you, blows them all out of the water, and compared to probably most of them today, it's pretty good. I know there's a We Are Rewind one and a FIO that I understand are pretty great too. I haven't tried those, but compared to everything I've heard, which is all the stuff I showed you for the modern day made stuff, this is the best sound quality. This has a stereo cassette head, 2-channel. Most people selling these don't really talk about that because most of the ones made today don't have that anymore. They make them with mono heads. So you get 2-channel sound, which is pretty cool. It cannot record directly to tape, but you can use these controls here to record directly to an SD card, a micro SD card. So you can sample here on the fly with the pitch control wheel and record directly to an SD card, which is pretty nice. Especially if you don't have like multi-track recording equipment and you're just kind of getting into, this kind of tape stuff. This can play MP3 and WAVE, and I heard it can play WMA. I haven't tried it. I know it can play other stuff as well. It has a built-in rechargeable lithium-ion battery. The manufacturer advertises 6 hours of life on a cassette tape and 10 hours of life if you just play from the SD card like digital audio, because there's no motor running. Obviously, the pitch wheel here is not going to affect the digital audio. It's directly tied to the cassette motor. So when you're sampling, you can record live on the fly from, the tape here to the SD card. But once it's on the SD card, you're not going to play with it anymore with this. I mean, you can play it, but you're not going to be able to manipulate the pitch. Let's see what else we got. It's got this built-in lo-fi speaker. It's kind of fun. We have different models at different price points of these. If you want to save the most money, you can get one from us used, which is more like new open box with scratches. As you can see, this one's not perfect. This would be more of a used model. And with that, as you get the lowest price, especially if you go without accessories. With accessories, it's a little more money. It's like $20 more, and you get headphones, earbud headphones, and you get an SD card. If you have that stuff already, then it may not be necessary for you to get the ones with the accessories. The earbud headphones that come with these are not great. If you don't have those and you're kind of on a budget, the extra $20 for those 2 extra pieces is pretty cheap. Can't say how long the original Klim headphones are going to last, which is what you'd be getting, but that's what you would get with accessories or without accessories. And as with all of the models like this that we sell, all of our modified cassette players come with a cassette tape. You send us your samples that you would like recorded to that cassette tape, and we will record them onto the cassette tape using a high quality, typically like a Nakamichi or maybe a Tascam cassette recorder, and that'll give you some pretty decent sound that you can play with when you want to sample it back on this and record to the SD card. If you wanted backwards playback, this isn't a backwards playback model. However, if you sent us your samples and you wanted them to be recorded backwards, we could do that too. We could record the stereo pair on both sides of the tape in the same direction, which would give you the backwards effect when you play the other side of the tape. If you wanted that, that could be done. So that's what you get. You get this. You send us your samples. You get a high quality recording of your samples on the cassette tape that we'll provide you. It'll be a C46. You can sit 46 minutes of time. Obviously, you'd cut that in half if you're going to record the same thing identical on the other side in the same direction, so you could play it backwards. But that's what you get. It's generally a pretty nice little machine. For modified tape players, this is probably the nicest thing you're going to get. Again, like I mentioned, this pitch marking here in the wheel, as you can see, which helps you identify the correct speed. That takes like at least an hour to put that in. To very carefully by ear dial in the speed, finely tune it with one tape, and then try it with another tape and make sure it sounds perfect, and then try it with another tape. Get it as good as I can after an hour of screwing with that. Then, you know, you get as good of a pitch as you probably can. I would even argue that, like, because I've even listened to these that I hadn't modified yet and compared them to the ones that I had the pitch markings on. And in a lot of cases, the ones that I've already marked and modified actually sounded better than these originally did before I modified them, because I spent that much time playing with the pitch. So it can be done. I'll show you the side here. We have an SD card reader. That's where you would record your digital audio. Headphone jack, on-off switch. This is kind of a silly player. If you do put an SD card in there and there are digital files on it and the tape isn't running and you have the switch switched on, it will automatically start playing them. Once you stop the tape, it'll immediately automatically start playing the files off the SD card. Kind of a silly design. I don't know why it's like that, but that's how it is. As you can see, it uses a Torx screwdriver for the replaceable lithium-ion battery. I don't recommend taking it out unless you absolutely need to replace it. And I'd be very careful, as the connections are pretty delicate in this thing, but it could be replaced. I don't know where you'd get it. You'd probably get it online, like most anything these days. But that's what it is. It's a pretty nice little machine. Like this, you could actually use as a somewhat listenable portable cassette player. Like all the ones I showed you, you're not going to put like your favorite tapes from the 90s in those and jam out to them. They're just a little too lo-fi. Now for modified tape players, drone sounds, plugging them into pedals, they could work for that once modified, kind of like this one. But this one could actually work for both, and it could record to the SD card. So I would definitely call this probably the best sounding cassette player I have for sale that's modified. The Klim K7 modified with the pitch wheel, even though it doesn't have the biggest range of speed, because some of them have bigger ranges. Anyway, that pretty much sums it up for that. Feel free to contact me for questions. You can send us your samples at the time of purchase via regular mail or electronic mail, whatever you prefer to do. Anyway, feel free to contact us for questions. Thanks for watching.